been a long time since we've been to Santa Ponsa. In fact, it's been over a month. So, sorry Santa Ponsa, we've been neglecting you a little bit, but it's been very hot, and walking around Santa Ponsa is usually quite a hot walk. But today it was a little bit duller when we started out. There's definitely a breeze today, so hopefully it won't be so hot. So let's just have a little look around. We have been away as well. We went on a little staycation to the northeast part of the island. Had a really nice time up there. Some parts of the island which we've never actually visited before. So we were there for a few days. Done lots of videos there. So if you want to investigate and find out about the north east of the island, then you need to have a look at those. We were staying in a little place called Arta, which is actually a town right in the northeast corner, and from there we were touring around some of the different parts of the island in that area, so it's really interesting. Just a piece of news really, during July we actually added 700 subscribers. That's quite an amazing number of subscribers in 1 month, and a big thank you to all of those people who subscribed in July, who've subscribed before, and those of you who've subscribed since. It gives us the encouragement to actually go on and do more videos, to come to places like Santa Ponsa and elsewhere to have a look around. So thank you very much. It doesn't cost you anything, it's totally free, and all you have to do is press that subscribe button that's on the video or underneath on YouTube, and once you've done that, there is a bell, and if you hit the bell you actually get a notification when I've added a new video, so it really is quite helpful to you. And for us, well, it just is, as I said, it's that encouragement. It's the encouragement that keeps us going and making the videos. We're just actually walking up here to the roundabout. It's early in the morning and it's a Sunday, so it's just looking at my watch, it's 10:30 on Sunday the 8th of August, and I expect it to be a little bit quiet at 10:30 in the morning. It was a little bit cloudy as well to start with, so that also has an effect. So shops maybe opening a little bit later. This one says opening at 10:30, so I imagine they will be opening shortly. One area we've always neglected when we've come to Santa Ponsa, except I think one of the very first videos was we actually walk up this road, which is where all the bars are, and we did it the first time we came up here, and obviously there was nothing open at all. There's not going to be a lot open today just because of the time, but no, they were all shuttered up, closed up, and obviously not open for business. But that, I'm hoping, has changed. And just look across the road to the Cafe OK 1984, and they're already open, and people already in there. While we might not see anyone in the bars this early in the morning, not going to catch me in a bar this early in the morning, so I'm having a coffee. As long as you can see the tables and the chairs are out, that's the indication that the place is open for business. So down below there, open, up above, lots of tables, lots of chairs out. And the same is true across the road. So Santa Ponsa did come back to life after the months and months of being closed, of being quiet. Places are now open, and there's people here on holiday. Santa Ponsa is one of those areas that relies normally a lot on British and Irish tourists. This year's had to be a little bit different. the British were late arriving and the Irish were even later arriving. So the Irish unfortunately had lots of quite harsh restrictions for a long time. But the businesses and hotels of Santa Ponsa have been a little bit wise, and they've attracted other nationalities, so it's a little bit more cosmopolitan this year than maybe it would normally be. And certainly as we arrived, not hearing English voices at all, we're hearing French. So I don't know how indicative that is of the tourists that are here at the moment, but we didn't hear English voices, it was French and Spanish. As we go further up, I've seen signs of places that are not open, not going to open later in the day. So maybe some of these will open, but this is looking a little less likely. Some tables and chairs out there.
It's out of the way, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a little bit further away. So I'm not going to go up there, it might become depressing. So we're going to make our way back to the roundabout, and then we'll make our way up to the square. And the temperature. So we're back down to the roundabout here, and we're just going to make our way up down here. We're going to head towards the square. Again, I'm not expecting to be much going on in the square, but at least we can have a look to see what it looks like this time of the year.
It's the second time or something.
It's the end of the Olympics as well today.
Second time in
Hello.
Santa Ponsa.
I was just looking the other day how pictures from Santa Ponsa are coming out with my iPhone, and I found your Facebook. And now you're here again.
We are.
And now you're here.
Yeah.
Is it living up to expectations?
Yeah.
Yeah, a bit quieter than. Have you been before?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a bit quieter than normal, isn't it? It's not.
It's very quiet.
It's not quite, but it's better than nothing.
It's better than nothing.
Last year it was more quiet than this.
Last year, yeah, last year we'd just come out of total lockdown. Now we're in, I don't know, sort of semi-lockdown.
You live here. You live here in.
We live here, yeah. We've lived here for 36 years.
Yeah, I know. You started as a teacher.
Yes, that's right.
No, we live in Palma.
In Palma.
So, but this is
Where are you from?
nice. And as I said, it's not all English and Irish here. They were from Sweden. And regulars here in Santa Ponsa, so they know what it's like under normal conditions, and they know what it's like under pandemic conditions. But they were here last year as well. So people in other parts of Europe have not had the same restrictions as the British and the Irish, and the Swedish have had very little in the way of restrictions. In fact, they've sort of led their lives fairly normally, which is a different way from the rest of the world. It's had different effects, but it meant they had a lot more freedom, and so they were over here last year, and it was obviously very quiet when they came last year. And this year it's still quiet, but it's got a little bit more life to it. And this is the road that's leading up towards the square, but it's quite a walk up here. There's McTavish's that's open. That's a very popular bar with all nationalities. I see that mentioned a lot in different places. And on this side we've got the rising sun. Always nice to meet some people who've been watching the videos, and it's nice to hear that they're not all from England. I get comments from all over the world, and so they were from Sweden, but I get them regularly from lots of other countries. Holland quite frequently, Belgium, but even further away in Canada, America, United States. Not sure anyone's ever commented from any other South American countries, but it's obviously the language issue there. There's quite a few people already sitting there in the cafe having their breakfasts. Sunday morning, it's always a good time for a breakfast. Mark Antony's. I usually turn the video off here as I'm walking up because I start puffing and pant. Coping a little bit better. Set of stairs we could go down, but we're not. We're going to take the challenge. Go all the way up to the top of this road. These are the Globales Verdemar apartments. Many people have asked me about them. They were closed, but now they've all opened up. And we're obviously staying there. You can see the cleaners moving from room to room. And if we go all the way up to the top, we go down to the square, we'll walk back along the promenade, and we will actually see the Globales Verdemar from the seaside. Looks a bit prettier from that side. Yeah, we'll stop and have a coffee somewhere. I just bumped into a family from Edinburgh, Scotland. They've already had a week here, so they're quite accustomed to the high temperatures that we've got now, but it's a little bit more moderate today. But they're having a good holiday by the sounds of things. If you like your Greek food, the Zorbas looks as though it's about to open up. Cantina over there. More steps to take us down again. We're not going to go and do the steps, we're going to do the challenge and get all the way to the top of this road and then make our way down. We're getting near to the top now and just coming up to Caesar's. Open for business, and then there's obviously the bars across the road. Difficult to say. Some of them are definitely open. They've got signs out advertising what they've got on later on. And we're nearly at the top. I made it to the top, and it's downhill from here on in. We're heading down towards the square. We are actually planning to go back to the UK next week. We've been planning it for over a year now, and hopefully later on this week we'll get there. It's not without hurdles that you have to pass through. So we have to have a test. We have and that's confusing because they brought out the new rules, and the new rules talk about a PCR test. And there's a choice between a PCR and an antigen test. One costs 30 euros, the other costs 75 euros. There's obviously a big difference when there's two of you. But then when they talk about the PCR test, it's advisory. So what does that mean? It doesn't mean, it means it's only advice. It means they would like you to have it, but you don't have to. So why would anybody do the PCR test? And I'm not sure what the answer is to that. So we'll be doing the antigen test. and keep our fingers crossed it all works out. But that isn't all for us. We need to do the locator form for when we get back to the UK, and we've also got to book a PCR test for the second day, before the second day that we're back there, because we have had both jabs more than 14 days. And then coming back is a little bit easier because Spain doesn't actually require any of this really, other than the passenger locator form. So hopefully that's all we have to do, just to fill the form in so that Spain know that we're coming home. We're residents here, so even if they do change the rules and regulations, we'll be coming home, so there will be some exceptions made. So let's hope this it all works out and we'll be able actually to see our family that we haven't really seen. I haven't seen my mother now for 18 months. So that could be quite emotional. So here's the square. In the past they've actually had a list of what's going on there, but no lists up there today. But we'll just move into the square and have a look around. The gardens here have been well kept, even with no people here. So I've always been quite happy with the way that the topiary has been manicured. These bushes here. So it's taken me nearly half an hour to get here when we arrived, and so it's still only 11 o'clock in the morning. As you can see, there's lots and lots of tables and chairs, and we do have a sign here, might not be up there. So tonight we've got some live music here, which is what the square is famous for. All the different bars are here, and it looks as though they're open.
How are you? You're in for a treat.
So Hogan's, Bar Prince, Crown. We've got a pound stretcher. I wonder if that works with euros. A euro stretcher. Celts well, Irish pub, kebabs. Caledonian, Santa Ponsa Community Church, which Anita has actually taken the choir to in the past. There's a Christian nursery here, Brazil bar, more kebabs. It's making me feel hungry. So, no life now, but you wouldn't expect any life at this time of the day. The life of the square doesn't actually start until the sun starts to go down. It really is going to be too hot in the day to sit there. So, live music, if that's your thing, then when you're in Santa Ponsa. We just found a chair, but there's nowhere to buy a drink. Yeah, they're closed. We're moving on. Find a little bit of shade. There's still places there that need a little bit of work doing. I'm guessing that these locales are not open, are not likely to open. Quite an effort for us, for me, to get to the square from the beach in Santa Ponsa, because we go up and over the hill. This next part I really quite like. We're going to walk, there will be some shade at the beginning, down towards the promenade that takes you by the sea, and I'm guessing there's going to be a little bit of a breeze. Probably won't be much in the way of shade by the time we get down to the bottom though, but there'll be plenty to look at, I think. It should be quite interesting. There's the Jardin del Mar. I'm not sure I mentioned that before, and some of the bars around here are also open. I'm going to head down this little walkway. If you're not used to it, it is a little bit rickety, and some parts of the walkway are really quite tricky because they've disappeared into the sea. Well, you'll see that as we go down. You can already start to feel the breeze there.
Lovely.
Someone was asking me what were my predictions for September and October. Well, I'm no expert, but I can read the news and I can do an interpretation of it. And the weather's always good in September and October. It starts to cool off a little bit in November. There's lots of nice days in November. It's a great time to go walking. You're less likely to be going to the beach by then. But as far as the pandemic is concerned, Spain and Mallorca in particular, the numbers have gone astronomically high in the past 2 or 3 weeks, but they appear to have peaked, and the numbers here in Mallorca have started to drop. So we've gone past that peak, and for the last several days the numbers of new cases have actually got less and less each day, and that's a really good sign. The numbers that have going to hospital have been increasing, but there's always a lag between the two. So as the numbers come down, people who've caught the disease, some of them still need to be admitted into the hospital, and they've actually increased the number of ICU beds because it has got bad. It's not as bad as the first wave, but it's quite bad at the moment. But it's getting better, so less people each day are being admitted than the day before, and hopefully that will continue now through into September and October. So if the numbers keep going down, then things are going to be pretty optimistic. The other good news is that vaccinations, that's us, Steve and Anita.
How are you getting on?
Hello. You've been watching us on YouTube. Whoa!
You're slightly starstruck.
Yes. Fancy meeting you.
Brilliant job. Really good job.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we try to. Yeah.
Good.
How long have you been here?
A week.
A week. Enjoying it.
Yep.
You've got a bit of colour.
Bit of a head on me.
Yes. Where are you staying? Are you staying?
Down in H10.
Yes. Yeah.
Lovely.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Having a good time. Happy.
Yeah.
Lovely to meet you. Bye.
Bye. So, some more YouTube viewers. That's the third lot we've seen today. Really nice to see you, meet you all. So yeah, vaccinations I was mentioning. Vaccinations are increasing, and they opened up, I think it was 68,000 new appointments just a few days ago, and these are from children from 12 years old can now go in and get vaccinated. So that's really a step in the right direction, particularly for me as a school teacher. I'll be going back in September, and so in September I'll be having children in the classes who may or may not have been vaccinated. I've had my double jab, but it's still significant. Some places here still not managed to sort themselves out. This place was actually blown in by a storm, and they've had to do a lot of work to repair it. It seems to have been repaired, but they've not managed to get that far. You can actually see the wall. That wall was blown over into the bar. So
We have got a video of it when it was broken.
yeah, if you go back, you can actually still see there's the police ribbon there that was all around this area, telling people it was dangerous. So yes, continuing with vaccinations. Vaccinations have progressed tremendously over the last few weeks, and they now not only are doing the 12-year-olds and upwards, you can now just walk in and get your vaccination, and not only that, you can actually say which vaccine you want. So they're not giving the AstraZeneca anymore, so that one seems to have disappeared. It's the one we had, but I've done some work on this. This looks a bit new.
Be careful.
I'm trying to be careful. The railing disappears here, and so does the walkway actually at some point. So we are going down lots of steps, so just a warning that if you were planning to go on this way, just really be careful. And if this is not your thing, and don't even attempt it. This is the part that's never been repaired since we've been coming.
I'll go.
Be a little bit tricky. There have been some fencing, I think, warning people not to go this way, but it's been put to one side. Lots of boats here in the bay of Santa Ponsa. Just over here. There is actually a marina on the other side, on the far side. There is the marina of Santa Ponsa, which will be an interesting place to have a look around. Which is about it's a little bit breezy today. Nice. We walk along. These beds and chairs here have got chains on them, padlocks. I'm guessing they're owned by people from the apartment block. Just here. Steps we could have come down, but we didn't do that. I don't like steps coming down particularly. It's so bad going up. So we're just heading down towards the beach. And this is a lot busier than it was the last time we came down here. This now. It was quite easy before because there weren't the beds here. Beds here now. I think they're fishing here as well. Last winter, the winter before, we did have some really strong storms in Mallorca, and it did do some damage. Some of that damage was repaired, and I think the councils will be taking the opportunity to get all of it repaired. But here's an example there. It happens to now have a sinkhole. It's seriously in need of repair. And this part looks worse than when I last came. I can remember. Restaurants and bars here will be getting ready to serve Sunday lunch, and lots of the tables will be reserved. And even during the winter time, when there's been less people staying here, but the bars and restaurants, particularly on Sunday, do keep get quite busy. A little bit too early for a coffee, so we'll carry on. Boardwalk here. Still have the graffiti on the wall. I actually noticed driving along the motorway this morning, new graffiti. I've never really done that, but I can imagine it can be quite pleasant. Cormorant on the rock. It can be quite fascinating watching the cormorants swimming and fishing and just disappear under the water for appears ages and ages. Which was empty when we arrived, is now beginning to fill up. And because it's the weekend, you've not only got the tourists who are on holiday here, but you also have the locals who are working today. And obviously the children, Spanish children that live here in Mallorca, who are not at school, not at summer school, so the beach is a great place to go to, play in the water and keep cool. I'm tempted to say this looks new, but I'm not sure. Coming up to 20 past 11.
Where are we?
Santa Ponsa.
Nice.
So we managed to find a place to have a coffee in Santa Ponsa, overlooking the sea, beautiful views, and then we'll finish off our walk a little bit further out. Just had a nice coffee, and we're just about finishing. That's where we went. Empathea. looking beach. Lots of people in the sea. Temperature's clearly rising now. It's getting warmer and warmer. Back of the beach is fairly empty. People usually play their ball games. And then under the trees in the distance, you get the Spanish families will bring their picnic tables. Well, we need to finish the video now. We're going to head back to the car and do a spot of shopping. So just like to say, hope you've enjoyed our video, and if you have, then hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe, that's really important for us, and we'll see you in the next video. So bye for now.